All right, you guys, it's 9:05. Let's do this. It's 2021. This is the first real Friday of the year because it's the first Dino 101 Friday of the year. If this is your first time at Dino 101, welcome. If this is not your first time at Dino 101, welcome back, you nerdy weirdos. Tonight, I am incredibly excited. We already talked to our special guest expert. We're going to set the stage for 2021. We're going to renew our love for dinosaurs, like that really went anywhere. And most importantly, we're going to nerd out with someone who produces the best podcast in the history of the universe. But before we do that, if you've been here before, you know I cannot do this alone. So per usual, I am joined by my co-hostess with the mostest, a woman who's coming out of her cave and she's been doing just fine. Kristina Gustovich, what is happening?
That's for me. Hey, good to see you all. Happy 2021. If it's your first time here, hell yeah, thank you for joining us. So you know what you're in for. This is as interactive as you want it to be. We're going to hear from our favorite podcast lady while we tie in some dinos. We want to see your participation in the chat if you have questions for us or for Alie. But if you also just want to sort of turn your camera off so we can't see or record your face and have a beverage, that's fine too. So we'll keep you updated as we go. So just know we got you. Join us on this ride. Right. So in case you have never, ever used Zoom before, or if you want a little reminder, the chat box is down here. Say hello. You're probably watching in speaker view if I'm taking up your whole screen. If you'd rather see the whole gallery, switch over to gallery view. We are recording tonight, just a heads up, so you can say stop video if you don't want your face in it. Yeah? All right. So this is for grown-ups. Not only kids love dinos, grown-up people who like grown-up beverages and grown-up words also like dinos. That's who this is for tonight, you guys. So we have a couple of drinking rules for you. Because birds are dinosaurs. If you hear any mention of a bird, have a sip. Any mention of a bird, the word bird, an example of a bird, take a sip. If you hear a joke that makes you groan, something corny as hell, if you hear a dad joke, you'll take a sip. And finally, our special rule for tonight, because we have our amazing guest expert, host of the podcast Ologies, if you hear the word podcast, take a sip.
I think we'll be able to do this. You know, we can't start a normal class without taking attendance first. So we're really curious to know of you guys. We have a lot of people here tonight, which is amazing. I don't know how many times our esteemed colleagues in the Zoom room have actually been to Dino 101. Please vote now. If we have learned nothing from 2020, it is that democracy only works when you use it. Please vote. All right, so we have a lot of first timers. Hell yeah, love
that. Followed closely by people whose whole life is Dino 101. Thank you for coming back over and over while it gets weirder and cornier.
It's a weird group, but I couldn't do this without you guys. So it looks like about 42% of people first time. We got 23% of you guys have been here forever. About 22%, 2 to 5 times. 13% of you, 5 to 10 times. All right, let's get into it. We need to introduce our very special guest expert of the day. You may know her from 100 Humans on Netflix. You may know her from Innovation Nation on CBS. Hell, you may know her from that one random episode of Key and Peele that she was in, but you probably know her from the best podcast in the history of the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, from Ologies, Alie Ward. There we go. Okay, good. Any chance to use the air horn?
Thank you so much for mentioning my podcast. That I love hosting a podcast. Podcasts are just really a passion of mine. So I hope I'm starting this off right. There's a lot of birds of a feather here that listen to podcasts. So I think that was also a dad joke.
That was a double right off the bat. That's a double drink. Way to get us started. All right, enough chit chat, Alie. We're gonna get into Ologies in a little bit, but first we have to put you through the ringer that we put every guest expert through and play everyone's favorite game, Dino or Not a Dino. Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to read you a list of 10 different animals, some of which are actual real dinosaurs, some of which we have totally made up. Your job is to simply discern the real from the fake. The people in our room and in the chat are absolutely going to be helping you out. Well, I say helping you out because sometimes it's not helpful at all. So use their help at your discretion. 10 animals. There's also a theme for the not dinosaurs. And if you can discern that along the way, you win 2 virtual high fives.
Okay.
Are you ready to play?
No, I'm sweating.
Listen, we've had real paleontologists get like 4 out of 10, and we've had people who know nothing about dinosaurs get 10 out of 10. So there's really no rhyme or reason. Here we go. Animal number 1, Eocursor. And I should mention, if you need it spelled, I'm happy to spell it for you. Number 1, Eocursor.
No, not a dinosaur.
Off to a rough start. That is a dinosaur. Eocursor is a dinosaur. You were 0 for 1. Number 2, Elmonix.
Elmonix is actually a German funk band.
But you're not answering the question. Is it also a dinosaur?
No.
It is not. You are correct. You're now 1 for 1. Well done. Number 3, Telmatosaurus. Telmatosaurus.
No.
That is a dinosaur. 2-1. Okay. Next, Procountops.
Procountops?
Procountops.
No, I have a really good friend actually named Em who studies those types of dinosaurs, and she says that it's not. So yeah,
that is true. You are now 2 for 2 on the upswing. Next, Helioceratops.
Oh, that is a dinosaur. Are you kidding me?
That is a dinosaur.
Yeah, if I've ever heard of a dinosaur, it's that.
Pointy sun face. Helioceratops. Yeah. Here we go. Next, Bertonicus. Bertonicus.
I feel like that's a racquetball injury. I'm going to say no.
Tennis elbow. Bertonicus is not a dinosaur. You are now 4 and 2 after a rough start. Well done. We've got 4 to go. Maxacallisaurus.
No, that's a strain of weed.
It might be, but it is also a very real dinosaur. You're now 4 and 3. You're still in the green. Don't worry. Next.
It'll get you fossily stoned. What?
Are you trying to get us drunk like 10 minutes in? All right, maybe.
Yeah, it's 9:13 p.m. It's gonna be a long night.
It's 6:13 where she is. Okay, here
oh,
we
that's
go.
A good
Next, Archaeornis. Archaeornis.
That's a dinosaur.
What? Who? What?
That is. I'm sorry. Did you hear me right? I said that's not a dinosaur.
That is correct. That is not a dinosaur. Archaeornis is not a dinosaur. You're now 5 and 3. You only need 1 more. You got to get 6 out of 10. D- is passing in this game. Next, Daspletosaurus.
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 A dinosaur.
That is the dinosaur. You are now 6 and 3. You've already won the game, but for extra credit to go 7 and 3 is C. C is a respectable grade. Last but not least, Protomima snuffleupagosaurus.
I have so many thoughts. I hope someone named something that, but I'm going to guess that the world isn't that beautiful, so no.
It is not. You have gotten 7 out of 10 correct. Have you any idea what the theme for the not dinosaurs, Elmonix, Procountops, Bertonicus, Archaeornis, or Protomima snuffleupagosaurus?
I'm an open sesame book, and I believe this is Sesame Street because Big Bird.
These are all Sesame Street characters. You've won the game. There we go. Thank you. You've won the game. You've identified the theme. I was so excited to play this game with you. I totally skipped introducing our dino of the day. If this is your first time at Dino 101, we always have a dinosaur of the day that we challenge you, should you want to, render digitally, pen and paper, watercolors, whatever you want. And at the end of our time, in about 45 minutes, we'll go around the Zoomer and everyone will show off the Paleo Art masterpieces. Our dino of the day is our special guestperts' favorite dinosaur. This is Allosaurus. This is a painting by Charles Knight, one of the most famous paleo artists. This, I think, was 1904. It's Allosaurus. In fact, the Allosaurus mount at the American Museum of Natural History in New York City is based off of that painting. This is a more, well, I guess newer reconstruction or digital reconstruction of what Allosaurus may have looked like. This is the dinosaur that you need to reconstruct however you see fit tonight. For scale, you always need something for scale, or it's just bad science. That's me on the side, my little handout. It's about how big an Allosaurus is, but we don't want you to just render an Allosaurus. You need to render your version of Allosaurus listening to a podcast. That is a drink. So I'm very excited to see all of these Allosauruses podcasting away at the end of our time.
We got the question in the chat because you should always have something for scale. How many chapsticks tall is it? Oh,
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I haven't measured this particular one with chapsticks yet.
I mean, at least 3-4 of these.
So now, Alie, we brought you on today because you are one of the most enthusiastic science communicators ever, and I love you for it. And so I know we're very excited to talk through some of your favorite dinosaur-related Ologies episodes, right? But before we do that, I'm just curious from our audience here, because tonight's all about renewing our love for dinosaurs, which of these 100% actual real-life farm-related magazine subscriptions will you be renewing in 2021? Is it Miniature Donkey Talk Magazine, the talk of the donkey world; Spudman Magazine, the most trusted voice in the potato industry; Emu Today and Tomorrow Magazine, the magazine for emu farmers; or Sheep? Using your keypads, please vote. These are real, actual.
These are real. It's very important that you know these agriculturally based obscure magazines are all real.
Alie, you can't vote because you're co-host, but what would you vote? Which one of these do you want showing up weekly?
I am a very enthusiastic person, so I think the one with the most exclamation points, which leaves me really at Sheep.
Sheep.
I feel like Sheep has a very, very small DJ air horn at the end of its title. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I like that. It looks like, wow, this is pretty, but you know what, Alie, it seems like 35% of people have voted for Sheep. Close behind is Emu Today and Tomorrow Magazine. I'm going to end this poll. These are some interesting results. I thought Spudman Magazine would get more.
Yeah, I really, for that one, they have to have a calendar. Spudman of the month. I would buy it.
I just want to see like sexy Mr. Potato Head, like dressed up. Anyway. All right, Alie, before I have a couple questions just real quick to set the tone because we're getting into 2021. I have two questions. One, we need to leave 2020 behind. And so one way that we need to do that is to take down our holiday decorations. Alie, how long are you allowed to keep up your Christmas lights or holiday lights outside your house? What is the statute of limitations?
Okay, this is a good question. I myself would never leave any kind of holiday decor up past New Year's. I'm just like a really kind of fastidious person, and I like to stay current. So I take mine down first of the year. I would never ever be caught keeping mine up for sure. Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
That answers that.
Second, last holiday related question, then we'll get into the Ologies. This is something that I was thinking about this week. You got to pick a side, Alie. One's got to go.
Okay.
Candy canes or candy corn? Yeah, I know. You got to eliminate one from existence. Which side you on?
Okay, I'm going to eliminate candy canes because they are more versatile. I find them to be more delicious. You can use them in a lot of things. However, I think they can be phased out, and their peppermint patty-free restaurant candies can take over their slack. But if you eliminate candy corns, it's extinct. You know what I mean? Yep. There's another line going in the hard peppermint candies. That's true. I'm sorry, candy canes, get the fuck out. We're done with you. We have a replacement. Candy corns, you're staying in the game.
Okay, I like that. I'm curious to know how our audience feels, so please vote on this. There's a lot of love and hate for candy corn in this group. While everyone is voting, I just want to share our screen real quick just to prove to you guys that the dinosaurs I named are actual real dinosaurs. These are the 5 real ones we saw earlier. Eocursor, this is a little theropod from South Africa. We got Tomatosaurus, this Hadrosaur from Romania. Heck yes. Helioceratops, the tiny little ceratopsian from China. Love the bristles on its back. Maxicalisaurus, a giant sauropod from Brazil. And last but not least, who's that? Daspletosaurus, a pretty big theropod, not so dissimilar from Allosaurus from right here in North America. All right, it looks like, wow, this was a close vote.
Yeah, 60% of our audience is with me and Alie in eliminating candy canes. I completely agree. Get rid of candy canes. What other food, as you consume it, becomes sharper and sharper?
You don't really talk about sharpness when it comes to, that's a good, I hadn't thought about that as a variable. All right, let's get into the real business at hand. So Alie, again, we wanted to go through some of the highlights from some of your best dinosaur related ology episodes. So first of all, for the like 3 of us in this room right now who don't know what Ologies is, what is Ologies? Give us the Ologies elevator pitch.
Every time I say the word podcast, people have to drink, or no? I've intentionally said it like 17 times.
Yeah, we're
so if you're not sure what a podcast is, my podcast is a podcast called Ologies with Alie Ward. Also, I want to say, just to circle back really quick, January 15th is my own personal cutoff date for getting rid of your decor. Okay. I think mid-month. I will say that some sociologists think that the most depressing day of the year is January 20th, because it's when people's credit card bills come in from the holidays, and like snow has lost its charm and there's nothing to look forward to until like Valentine's Day. Anyway, so I think by the 15th, like, get rid of it. Also, thank you. I think it was Bridget who said that an Allosaurus is 132 chapsticks. Ace. Way to go. And now I've forgotten what the question was. Podcast. It's called Ologies. Yes. I know. Here, wait, I'll show you something. So I got this recently. This is a book of phobias and other word families. And there's a lot. If people ask me, I got asked on an interview today, if I am going to run out of Ologies, and the answer is never. So if I still have a working mouth, I'll probably still be doing this podcast because there's a lot of stuff to cover. Although I need more, if anyone is out there who wants to tell me more Ologies about dinosaurs that are not paleontology, which is really only like about old stuff, please tell me what they are if you want to request them, because I know I need more dinosaur episodes, like so much. So it's a different ology every episode, and I talk to one ologist who usually is very passionate about what they do. And then, there's all kinds of facts. It is not necessarily for children. I do tend to swear in it, much to my parents' dismay, but what can you do? Scientists are people.
That's a whole, I know we both come from like the museum world originally, and that's a whole conversation debate we could have about whether or not you should or should not swear, your audience. But we're not gonna get into that now. I like that you brought up you need more dinosaur episodes, because like if you're gonna talk about dinosaurs, pretty much the first one you're gonna do is paleontology. But it's good to mention that, like you said, paleontology is a study of life a long time ago. So it's not just dinosaurs. There's lots of different animals that lived a long time ago. So I think it's important for us today, as we reset and get ready for 2021, to make sure that we know what a dinosaur is when we see it. And in order to do so, it's actually pretty simple. You have to ask yourself 2 questions about any animal you're looking at. Question number 1, does that animal have its legs directly under its body? If its legs come straight down under its body, that's step 1. And the reason why I bring this up is because, Alie, like you mentioned, a lot of people think alligators and crocodiles are dinosaurs. But if you think about alligator, crocodile legs, they're split at the side. And when you're moving around on land, that's a really inefficient way to move. It's like walking while trying to do a push-up. Dinosaurs are the first major group of animals to completely abandon life in water and live solely on land. And when you live solely on land, if your legs come straight down under you, like us, you can move a lot faster, more efficiently. But that's not the only thing, because we have our legs under our body. We're not dinosaurs. The second question, as exemplified by this flowchart here, does that animal have scales or feathers? So any animal you're looking at, there's a slight exception, the pseudocetians and pangolins, fucking pangolins every time. But 99% of the time, if an animal's got its legs directly on its body and it's got scales or feathers, that animal is a dinosaur. But again, a lot of animals lived a long time ago, lived alongside dinosaurs, including some that you wanted to talk about from your Paleontology Ologies episode. So hit us. What was that episode about? Who did you talk to? What stood out?
I have notes.
Ooh.
I took harried notes right before, so I wouldn't forget, because I've done, I think, like 170 episodes of my podcast.
That is
Ologies. And so a lot. And so we were talking earlier about like what would be applicable here. God, you guys seriously slow down because there's going to be a lot of talk of birds too. So yeah, I'm so sorry. So yeah, okay. I had on Dr. Michael Habib, and he is a paleontologist at the NHM.
Yeah, he's been a guest expert here too. He's amazing.
He's
so great.
Yeah. He's so great. And one thing I love about him is the beginning of the episode, we started talking about his other job. He's a paleontologist part-time, and then he also cuts apart like corpses for USC's Keck School of Medicine. So he's like corpse daddy in the morning, and then he's like dino papa in the afternoon, which is like, no one thinks, yeah.
No, I just want to know if the phrase corpse daddy has ever been said before just then. I don't know. Keep
Welcome
going.
to the future. Who said 2021 was going to be all that, huh?
Everybody's into something. Maybe don't Google corpse daddy.
Yeah,
oh no.
Yo, wait. Remember when we were looking at the magazines this week, Kristina, the real life one, women with corpses?
Yes,
it was like
really?
girls in bathing suits and bikinis with corpses. It was
Girls with Corpses magazine. So we're not too far off. They all have corpse daddies.
I mean,
Michael Habib, go on.
Anyway,
Hotties and Roddies. That's gonna be my new magazine.
That's good.
Hots and Rots. So
there's a artist joke here somewhere. Go ahead. Please continue.
Okay, so Dr. Habib, he is he's an anatomist, and then he also works with fossils. He works actually with a lot of pterosaurs. Y'all, we all know pterosaurs. Dinosaurs or not?
Wait, are you asking?
Well, I mean, I'm asking you to confirm that they're not dinosaurs.
Not dinosaurs. Lived at the same time. These are flying reptiles, technically not dinosaurs, but equally badass. These are the first vertebrates on the planet to be able to achieve powered flight. And some of them, which I know he probably talked to you about because he can't stop talking about it, because obviously is Quetzalcoatlus, the largest animal to ever take flight, size of a giraffe, wingspan of F-15. Yeah, they're huge. They're not tiny.
Well, that's a lot of chapsticks, y'all.
So many chapsticks.
So many chapsticks. So we talk about how his work as an anatomist helps him kind of figure out where joints were and how they moved. And so, but I did find out during that episode that the most common human implant is a dick implant. And that has nothing to do with dinosaurs, but it does have to do with that episode. So, right? A lot of silicone dick implants out there. And I was like,
really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, undercover. So though I learned that, but and also one of my another favorite fact I learned is in order for something to be a fossil, it has to be 10,000 years old, which that was new information to me. And I don't know what they call 9,000-year-old rocks with ferns and bones. Does anyone know? Is there a name for those?
If it was less than 10,000 years old, it might just be like a solidified, like a igneous rock that had just been born, like very recently, lava. So a rock still, but a fossil, like it. I think tell us in the chat if this is the thing that you know about. But basically, if you're like in the realm of you have any carbon left to date, you're not a fossil yet. You're just dead.
Ooh.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
That's very interesting. I just pictured like a 9,000-year-old bone. Like, you know, when you show up when a restaurant shouldn't be closed yet, but they're like the kitchen closed and you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah, de facto fossil, de facto closed kitchen.
You're not on the list yet, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're out. So I thought that was very fascinating. I also love that the word fossil comes from the Latin for obtained by digging. I think that's very cute.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Just digging. And this is not necessarily dinosaur related, but I did ask during that episode, Dr. Habib was talking about how he discovered a pair of Titanosaurs, which you guys probably don't know this, but they're very large. I'm sure a lot of dinosaur people wouldn't be able to gather that, but yeah, so he discovered a couple of Titanosaurs, and he said that when he was going out into the field, when he realized that they were Titanosaurs, he was so disappointed. He was like, he realized it was a small part of a big thing, and he just said, oh, fuck. because that just meant they were going to be there for a long time. But I asked my favorite fact from that episode is that about the cost of a dig, and I guessed that it would have cost, I think, like $17 million, and he said it cost about 10 grand, and my butt fell right out of my chair. I just blew my whole cloaca out of that. So I could not believe. So this was one of the first interviews I ever did for Ologies, and I did it maybe 9 months before the podcast ever came out. So I was still testing the water, and I was so nervous to talk to him. But that was one of the first facts. And I remember being like, oh shit, this is going to be a fun podcast to make overall. If this is the kind of stuff that you
You didn't do that one on purpose.
I did do that on purpose. I found all of that information out. I really kind of enjoyed learning about the lifestyle of a paleontologist and learning about having a second job and the fieldwork aspect, and that finding a big one wasn't necessarily the best thing to happen. So I got to learn a lot about that one, stuff that a lot of you already know, but because we talked a lot about pterosaurs, I feel like we really, really need another dinosaur episode. So help me out, y'all. Please.
See what we can do. Now, so I made a list. I went through with the whole Ologies archives, and I wrote down every episode that was like dinosaur related. And then we talked on the phone, like, which are the like 3 or 4 we're going to talk about. And I actually was surprised with the second one, obviously paleontology, but the second one you mentioned was oology, which I just like saying. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
You are. I think you are. Yeah.
I am. So this is like, these eggs are beautiful. These are a bunch of different types of dinosaur eggs. We're starting to be able to figure out coloration on dinosaur eggs. We've recently learned that many early dinosaurs laid soft shell eggs, and potentially soft shell eggs and dinosaurs evolved independently 3 times, which is pretty cool. But even cooler than that is sometimes you will find tiny little embryos in the eggs. Sorry, I got to nerd out about this for a second. Yeah, incredibly cute, including some. You mentioned Titanosaurs. This is a Titanosaur from South America that was, this is an image, a rendering of what we think a baby embryonic Titanosaur looked like, with that little spike on its nose, which is known as an egg tooth, which was used to get out of the egg, which is a really cool finding, but that's not even the coolest one. This is the coolest to me. You are looking at, I think, what is it, like 100? I forget exactly how old. Anyway, this is a microscopic image of the tooth growth lines in an embryonic Hypacrosaurus. So when this guy was really, really tiny. Now, if you can look and see in those tiny embryonic tooth lines, you can read and count those, and they lay those down daily. So you simply count those lines and you can figure out the gestation period of the dinosaur. Yeah. So for instance, Bertonicus, pretty famous dinosaur, about 3-month gestation period. This one right here, Hypacrosaurus, it took about 6 months in the egg before they hatched, which is the coolest fact I've learned about dinosaur eggs in quite a while. Alie, I know that you went to a very special place for this episode. Tell us about it.
I did. I went to the Field Museum. This is, I know, this is anti-pandy, before pandemic, obviously. And I was in Chicago, and I took my little bag. Do you guys want to see what my recording equipment travels in? Okay. Here, I'll show you. Back when I used to leave the house.
Wait, quick, someone screenshot her screen and then put in all the red lines like Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
So sorry. This is my little recording bag. So back in the days when I would get to actually meet people in person and be in the same room with them and smell them and hug them and touch them, I would just, this was my whole bag. It contained the entire Ologies audio kit. This is a $10 flea market purse from Mervin's that held it all. So so I toted this to the Field Museum and talked to John Bates and about oology. He's an oologist, so he studies eggs. He wrote literally wrote the egg book. He's one of the editors of it. And so I sat in his office and we had a fantastic chat about eggs. And then he took me to the egg vault of the Field Museum. And I know all of you probably know this, but when you go to a museum, the amount of things that you see on display are a fraction of what are behind the scenes. Obviously, the research collections are in the millions. And so their egg vault has about 100,000 eggs in it.
Excuse
and
me? 100,000?
Yes. So that's a lot of bird babies that are out there.
Someone bring me a drink.
It was a very excellent adventure that we had. And so we looked at all these eggs. We looked at various eggs, but I asked him initially, I was like, so you're an oologist, right? And he's like, "Wah." And apparently, so egging, as it was called, like in between like the late 1800s, early 1900s, was kind of a pastime for rich people. They'd go out and collect eggs. It's called, yeah, they would call themselves oologists. So whether or not you were a natural,
like went out and just like pelted people with eggs.
I know.
Eggs.
Now we just do it with chicken. But yeah, you'd go out and you'd find a nest and you'd grab a couple eggs and you'd make field notes and you'd have a personal collection of eggs, and I would be very into egging, and you'd probably have like pockets in a vest. And so many people loved egging that it endangered a lot of birds. So calling yourself an oologist fell out of favor because it was like kind of like bird terrorism, essentially. Like, I go, I find birds, I steal their babies. Because I don't need a real job, I'm of nobility. So people did not want to call themselves oologists. And so when I asked him if he was one, he was like, ugh. But they now have, because all of these people who were into egging died, they left their collections, and now they're various, there's one museum out in California in, I think, Santa Maria, Ventura, and it has the largest egg and nest collection in the world. And so, but I was at the Field Museum, they have 100,000 of them. He took me into a vault and he just pulls out these drawers, all kinds of eggs, ones that are seabirds that lay on cliffs and therefore they have a pointed end, so they tend not to roll off the cliff, but in a circle, tiny tic-tac mentos, hummingbird eggs, to big elephant bird eggs and ostrich eggs and stuff. So, and I got to learn a lot about that. And we talked a little bit about the oviduct and the cloaca, and how, by the way, has anyone ever gotten 2 yolks in an egg? Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, I've never been so blessed.
Right? I see some hands up and you're like, oh, I'm a witch. This is amazing. I always, yeah. What happened to, were you excited? Do you eat it?
I'm looking in the chat. We have a bunch of yeses. Yes, Morgan felt very witchy. Oh, wow. It's popping. Yeah. Yes. They ate it. Julianne ate it. Aaron says, heck yes, I think in reference to having eaten it. Gary says, why not? Sean stared at it for a while, ended up eating it.
Yeah, I feel like if that ever happens, the universe is like, I have a secret for you. And it's like very exciting. What that really means is you just got a young chicken. Like young chickens, they're popping off so many yolks that they just sometimes are making them faster than they can make shells. And so if you ever get like, some people are like, I got a carton of eggs with 3 double yolks, like I bought 10 lottery tickets. But that really just means there's probably a couple of young chickens that are just like ovulating, like just nobody's business, just like like lasers, disco, fucking egg disco, pew, 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 absolute barrage of yolks. And they're just, and the oviduct is just like, we're making shells as fast as we can, yeah, man, get them out of here. So that's what a double egg comes from. But the cool part is they have these melanocytes in the nether areas of their oviduct. And we don't know this about dino eggs, but birds, which are dinos, about softshell dino eggs, I don't think we know this yet, but the way that they get those streaks and colors that make them look like pebbles and granite is kind of like they have these cells like magic markers that are just like, and they're just coloring the outsides of the egg as they go. Yes, exactly. And the longer they are in the oviduct, the more spots they'll have as they go. And I thought that was just such a beautiful thing. But I also learned, when you're making eggs and there's like a springy booger in there and you're like, and it's like, some people are like gonna vom when they see it. Others are like, scramble it. It never happened. So there's a word for that. They're called chalaza. Do you know this? No?
I thought you were going to say the abulum?
Chalaza.
There's something called an abulum in there?
Yeah, that's the egg white. That's
the white. Okay.
That's the white, yeah. And that's we used to use egg white in some of our first like silver prints in photography. So like a silver, I think a silver albume, I can never say that, but yeah, print is like with an egg wash. Anyway, but yeah, but the chalaza are the boing, and they serve the same function as like a big bungee cord. So they're holding the embryo in there, so it's like boing, so they just kind of keep it steady if it rolls around, kind of like a slingshot. Gross, right?
It's like preventing egg concussion, because like concussion is when your brain moves in your skull and hits a side. They're kind of doing that, and yeah, like that.
Yes. Yeah.
How might chalaza be spelled? I'm trying to put a new vocabulary word in the chat for our audience members, and I cannot sound it out.
Chalaza. Chalaza.
Well,
and I think of it like, has anyone here, please tell me, has anyone been to the fair where they put you on the slingshot ride and they're like, and there's like a GoPro on you and you just, and then there's like at how many G's? Has anyone ever done that? Because I would have hospital grade diarrhea with anxiety if someone signed me up for that. I would absolutely shit my guts out. Has anyone done it? Yes. Brittany, have you done it?
In the chat, they have done it. We have some thrill seekers. We have an exclamatory yes from Brittany Raber. Brittany is dead. Yeah.
I guess the positive is if you pull your pants down, you're shot forward, so you're not going to get it on you, right? It's gonna.
You do eventually boing back.
Yeah.
You boing back, so you'd hit it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I went down. I was researching this episode, and I went down a YouTube hole of watching people on the slingshot ride. I was just looking to get a little bit of sound from it, but the next thing I knew, it was like an hour and a half had passed, and I was just watching people from their GoPro view, just like, I couldn't stop. So that's a fun thing to do. But yeah, those are called chalaza. And yeah, but the cloaca, you've talked about the cloaca. You say one hole to rule them all. I say as if Steve Jobs had designed a butthole, because it's like the home button on an iPhone. You need one, you know.
Yep.
It's your romance. It's your urine. It's your poo. It's your babies. It's your everything. It's clean. It's simple. It's not clean, but it is simple. And that we all would have one cloaca. What a world we would have if we all had a cloaca. Do you know how easy things would be?
Just go around cloacally kissing. It'd be fine. It'd be great.
Just a smooch.
I love that you brought up birds being dinosaurs, because if you remember our flow chart, legs under the body, scales and feathers, birds are not just descendants of dinosaurs. They're literally living dinosaurs. So when we say dinosaurs went extinct, we mean all non-avian or non-flying dinosaurs went extinct. So chicken nuggets, I mean, you're eating dinosaur meat right there for sure. Before we transition to a bird-related episode, Alie, it's time to play everyone's second favorite game. The name of this game is a little bit long, so bear with me here. Here we go. It is time for the M draws in front of everyone while the guestpert, that's you, Alie, attempts to figure out what somewhat topic-related word or phrase M is attempting to digitally render. Whiteboard challenge brought to you by Crappy Magazine, the only publication dedicated to the best species of North American freshwater fish. That is another very real magazine. Listen. We
go down a delicious rabbit hole every week to bring you new content. This is a real magazine.
Em, I want to say hi to you real quick. I'm going to spotlight you for a second. Hi, Em. Thank you for being our resident artiste.
Hello.
Are you ready to fulfill your duties?
Yes. Hold on.
Okay, so here's how this is going to work. Alie, Em is going to, there are going to be 3 rounds. I'm going to private message her the clue for each round prior. You can try to guess and talk out loud as she's drawing. And obviously in the chat, if you guys can figure out what she's trying to render, have at us. Let us know. Em, take it away. Round 1.
Did you message it to me on the Zoom?
I did. Should I do it again?
Can you text it to me?
You want me to text it to you? Okay, here we go. Em, I'm texting it to you now. The first one is being shot across the airwaves, internet waves, phone waves to you right now. There you go, Em. That is our first clue. You got this. So Alie, again, these are all episode related. So maybe about ologies, maybe about dinosaurs. Maybe
Wait, catch me up. Am I guessing or who's guessing?
You're guessing, Alie.
You are, I mean, everyone in the chat doesn't know how to shut up.
In the chat. Okay, so I can guess in the chat, right?
You can look in the chat for help.
Yeah, we want to hear what you're thinking, Alie, as you're looking at this. What the heck do you think Emma's drawing? You can look in the chat if you need help. Yeah, the audience members will help you out.
Okay, there's love. Oh, there's love. There's love in emoji love, and it is in love. Okay, that is something that is in love with a that's a.
I like that we have the bubbles coming from different ways and the dot dot dot.
Oh, it's a text. Oh, it's a text. It's unrequited love. Okay, it's unrequited love. It's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it's like, so this is about anxiety. This is about anxiety disorder. This is about toxic relationships. This is about divorce. What we're talking about here is about people who are out of your league. We're talking about.
Maybe. It's something you say a fair amount.
Snail.
What is this person doing right now?
The person is ruminating. The person is.
They are.
Your crush. Text your crush.
Text your crush. There it is.
Yay!
Do you guys want to know? Does everyone want to know a big secret?
Please.
If for no, the answer is always going to be yes to that, right?
Yeah.
This is a big secret. I'm sweating a little bit. Nobody else knows this. How much for tickets?
$7 to $10.
$7 to $10. If you're a fan of my podcast Ologies and you wanted to get your money's worth, the reason I always tell you to text your crush is because I had a guy who we were just like not in the right time at the right part of our lives, and we were always in love. We would break up, and I texted him because I just still really held a candle. And over Christmas, what?
Breaking news on Dino 101.
Breaking news. Wait, come back. You guys want to see my fiance? This is the guy.
This is not a good time to see me. You want to see me?
Well, he says this is not a good time to see him. He was not expecting to make his debut.
Oh, there's so many people over
I
there.
know.
That was,
so I texted my crush. And sometimes you end up shacking up and things work out for the better.
Yeah, you get there eventually.
Yeah.
You know?
So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. We haven't been like, hey, it's social media because, it took some time off. And then also there was like a coup and stuff, and it's just not the right time. And so congratulations. Thank you so much. So so the text your crush clue, the clue that I had to guess was text your crush.
Yes, great.
And look at this crush right here.
Sorry.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me pull you into
No, I loved it. Wow. Such an audience.
So the reason I tell you guys to text your crush is because I was still very in crush with somebody, and it turns out it was mutual, you guys. So
Thank you for choosing us to share that with, Alie. That's awesome. I see in the chat.
I know Brianna has real tears. Oh. I know we haven't we like it seems very like it seems weird to be like, hey everybody, like on social media, because it's just such a weird time. But I thought y'all showed up on a Friday night. I did not do a good job publicizing this because there was a coup happening, and I didn't do a good job at anything this week. So I wanted to, y'all know I tell a secret at the end of episodes.
Great. You're doing great. I'm always saying shoot your shot. 2021, we're shooting our shot. We've shot it so hard we've wasted too much time, so we're skipping round 2. We're straight to round 3, Alie. This is round 3 right now. So whenever you want to start trying to guess, feel free. But this is just, you just got engaged. How do we move on to whiteboard challenges? I fucking love it.
I love it. Nothing makes sense. I love it. We're all gonna die. Do whatever you want to do. There's no rules. Okay, this is a beaver. This is a bison, and this is a pelican eating something. There's a pelican eating a capybara.
There it is. Did you see the video? Did you see the video on Twitter?
The only news that mattered in the last 72 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That pelican got finally banned from Twitter after 5 years of trying to eat the capybara. It's really exciting.
It took a while. Thank you. You haven't said a word. Can you say hi to our audience and just confirm that graphic design is your passion?
Graphic design is my passion.
And can we see your badass sweater?
Oh, of course.
Hell yes. Hell
yes,
That is great. All right. So that was actually a segue. Alie, I know you're new here, so you don't understand that I am a professional segue artist. I mean, everyone in the chat will let you know how perfect my segues always are. And since you brought up pelicans, I had nothing to do with this. That's what we're going to talk about next. This is the last. We're not going to have time to get to the fourth one because, well, here we are. But this episode on pelicanology, which is a good word. It's fun to say. I downloaded some photos of pelicans because there's very few things that are better than spending 15 minutes trying to find pelican photos. That's not one. That's a penguin. You probably know that already. But penguins are like, where do they get the audacity? Like, penguins, man, are pelicans. I can't even. They're also beautiful and they have crazy colors. Tell us why you loved this episode, because I personally think pelicans are an incredibly underrated dinosaur species.
Thank you. I agree with you. I loved this episode because I think it's a gular pouch. What's in there? It's gular. Is that right? Gular pouch? So one note I didn't take. Gone. It's the Mary Poppins of bird faces. You know, what else is in there? She's gonna pull a lamp out of there. Maybe some snack bars, but I really love them. I think that they are a phenomenal bird. One thing I love about them is that Louisiana has them on their flag, and the Louisiana flag has them, dripping blood from her breast to feed her babies. All of this is flim flam. They do not do that. This is a Catholic invention, being like, a bird so majestic it hurts itself and it feeds its babies, and it's like, that doesn't even happen. So I think it's really cute that that Louisiana is like, this is our state bird, and here is a gross misrepresentation of it, based on something that is absolutely not science, and I think that's very cute. But yeah, they are their eyes change color when they're horny. So if they're looking for a mate, their eyes get really blue, the males at least. They're very, very fluffy when they're babies. They look like a lint ball from the dryer. And yeah, a lot of people think that their whole spine comes out through their pouch, but it really doesn't. It's kind of an optical illusion that they just are kind of resting their big testicle pouch on their neck. So it's just one big sexy illusion, but a lot of people mistake that. But they can go 40 miles an hour, like a strike into the water to eat. And I just wrote hydrophobic. I don't know why. I also, in my notes, I do have gular sac. I just have gular sac, ball sac. I don't know. There you go. So I think
that works.
Yeah.
So
I know, because I had found some information about a surgery on one. Anyway, so yeah, phenomenal birds.
So they dive. You're saying 40 miles per hour in that dive?
Yeah, I think it's a 40-mile-an-hour dive into the water.
The other cool thing about that is if you watch them, at least when I've just been on the beach enthralled watching, it's usually a group of anywhere from 2 to 5, and they'll circle and then dive in unison at the same time at that 40 miles per hour, which is really cool and weird coordination.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know too that evolved after 1989 when Top Gun came out. So they didn't do that before the release of Top Gun. And apparently there was an outdoor screening and a drive-in. A lot of pelicans saw it. They started flying in unison more.
This was just delivered to my foot. Does anyone know
about pelicans
from childhood?
Do you have a staff, Dustin?
I mean, I call her mom.
Aww.
Staff is sure. Thank you. Someone in the chat. M in the chat. Thank you, Sharon. Yes. Thank you, Sharon. Do I have any more pelican images? No. All right. The last bird, the episode that we're not going to have a chance to get to that we wanted to talk about was penguinology. Let's just suffice it to say the couple things that we wanted to mention. Alie, you definitely brought this up. There's an extinct species of penguin that was as big as this guy in a top hat.
Bigger. Yeah, 6'8". It was a Colossus penguin 37 million years ago. 6'8" was one found fossil specimen, which is as tall as LeBron James. They also undergo things called a catastrophic molt. And rather than just losing feathers here and there, they just eat a shit ton. They come back to the beach. All of their feathers fall out. They hate life so much, and then they have to regrow them. So their molt is catastrophic. They smell like raw sewage and ammonia, in case anyone was interested in sniffing them. And in Chinese, their name translates to business goose.
That is the best part.
I love
Business goose is a phenomenal translation. This is our last poll of the night, you guys. I did this on Twitter. I'm curious to know if the results end up the same here. Who you got? Are you team Pelicans? Are you team
Can we clarify for this one? You're choosing the one that you like.
Yes. Pick
Okay.
your side.
Are these animals fighting each other? Are we deciding which one would win in a fight or which one we want to cuddle?
You know what? It's all right. We got about 75% of the vote in, and it looks like it's about the same as what happened on Twitter. About 60% of people go penguin, about 40% go pelican.
You know, if anyone doesn't know, if I asked the penguinologist, Tom Hart, if they are black with white coloring or white with black coloring, and they're black with white coloring, but in case you think that they are goofy business suited geese, they actually have the same coloring as an orca. The AKA killer whale, which is not really a cool thing to call an orca because whales got to eat. But yeah, they have the same coloring as an orca. So when you see them, don't think of a goose with a day job. Think of like a land orca, just being like, watch out. I'm going to eat a lot of fish and lose all my feathers. It's true story.
That's why I find penguins sus. Like, you know, there's a big bird versus fish thing on Twitter, and like penguins are dangerously close to being fish. I can't trust them. Can't trust them.
Dangerously close to being fish?
Yeah, they're like
swim? How dare you? They're amphibious.
It's like how the church justified eating beavers on Fridays because they were in the water, so it counts as fish.
Oh,
you know how evolution works? That doesn't work.
How dare. Just because someone is so good at doing more than one thing, you reduce them to the one thing they're good at?
Okay, all right.
You're like, Michael Phelps, fish. Penguins are like, oh, excuse me, watch, I can't fly, but do I need to?
Listen,
no, they fly underwater.
Speaking of things that people are good at, this is a segue. Alie, I have two last questions for you.
Okay.
First, really, we're just flipping the script here. If you've ever watched Ologies, Alie, have you listened to Ologies? Alie, you're into it? You understand?
I've heard of it, and I keep meaning to, but
what's your least favorite?
I listen to so many Bachelorette podcasts. I just don't have time for this.
What is your least favorite thing about making Ologies?
My least favorite thing.
Least favorite thing about your job making Ologies?
Oh,
I can't believe no one's ever asked you this.
No, people don't. You know what it is I feel like I'm not good at social media. I feel like I should be posting so much more, and I feel like I'm so busy making it that I don't post on social media enough. I think
you did the smart thing of having like help on that side. Like you're the creator making the thing, and it takes so much time to do that other thing. I think you're doing great there. So
I don't know. I feel like I gotta get better at memes. I need more memes. I need a meme factory.
Yep.
But it's just like the things like when you go to tag someone and then you tag them and you put up the tweet and you misspell their name and you're like, do I undo the thing? And then also I love everyone who listens to it. So I want to be like beep bop beep bop and converse with them. And then meanwhile, the show for the next week is not getting made because I spent so much time being like, oh, you know what? If you like a penguin, you might like this. And then, so it's very difficult for me. Jada says I'm an honorary dickneck, and I've never felt more loved.
You know what a dickneck is?
Jada just told me that I'm an honorary dickneck.
Okay. Kristina, what is a dickneck? I know it's your favorite group of animals.
It is. I'm sure one of you can put up the background now. There was a wholesome children's book with dinosaurs on it that was changed to have the title be "What Up, Dickneck?" Meaning a sauropod, one of the long neck boys.
Yes, I've seen this on M's background before.
Yeah, we love a dick neck, and that's what some of us have started calling ourselves. It's our collective
dick so much.
Cute they are, yeah.
Dick necks do not.
This is an uncircumcised dick neck that M is displaying right now. Alie, last question. What's your favorite thing about making Ologies?
My favorite thing about making Ologies is when I get an email back from an ologist that I'm really excited to talk to, and I get that email back being like, yeah, I'm down to whenever. It feels like someone that you've been in love with from far away is like, it feels like your crush texts you back, like getting that initial being like they're in. And also, I'm not just saying this because y'all are here, but I really, really love listeners. Like, listeners do not suck, and that is great. Like, everyone who listens seems to not be a dick, and I don't know how. They're dick necks, don't get me wrong, but they're not dicks, and they are cloacas and not assholes, and I appreciate that so much. Like, I learned a lot from listeners, and people don't get mad at me too much, which is nice. No one's like doxed me or anything, so it's such a nice community of people. And oh, Caroline, I'm so glad I got you through quarantine. I hope you're in 2020. I hope you're ready for quarantine 2021. I will be there making episodes. But yeah, so but finding someone who's like the skunk expert in New Mexico and hearing that they're gonna talk to me is like electrifying.
How do you think I felt when you're like, yeah, I'll come on Dino 101?
Oh, stop. We've been friends forever. We've caught lightning bugs together in Brooklyn.
That is true. Alie, do you remember when I came and met you somewhere in like Soho in New York City? You were in like the vestibule of like a hotel or something, and you were about to go to the airport, and I was like, can we just talk for like 30 minutes? Because like, I don't... And then we just talked about like science communication in museums, and then you were wearing flannel, and then you went and got on a plane, and I was like, you know what? I like this woman. I appreciate the advice, and it was inspirational, and I thank you, and I still remember that day.
I totally remember. Yeah, I had all my bags packed, and we were like, I had a plane to catch, and I had like exactly half an hour, and we talked about all kinds of stuff, and I was like, keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing. I'm always down for that, 100%. So yeah, I'm on Team Dustin, Team Dino. I want to do more Dino episodes. I'm telling you, Dick Necks, please help me out with some ologies. I just want to know, like, what do you want to hear? Because there's so much to explore in the old world. And then you went away.
You probably noticed that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I did do something for a second just to show how much I appreciate you, and I didn't want to get too lewd, so let me turn my video back on. There we go.
Yes! Oh!
So I normally live in New York City, and I have an Ologies t-shirt, obviously, because the merch is fire, and I'm back in Ohio chilling with my parents for a little bit, and I forgot the shirt, and I was like, there's no way I'm doing this fucking episode without some Ologies merch. I ordered this last week. You guys go get your Ologies merch. It's great. It's great.
If anyone who's here wants another bang for the dollar, I think there's a code Ologites, and I think that gets you 15% off. I think it's Ologites. I'm putting it in the chat. Hey, Jer, can you go on ologiesmerch.com so quickly and tell me?
That's the right.
Yeah.
I
think it's Ologites. If not, email me. And
Ologies merch. Wait. Yeah, Ologies merch.
It's ologiesmerch.com, but I think that is 15% off.
Okay. That's good. So I want to mention real quick, it is 10:03. We're going to get to everyone's, I'm sure, amazing renditions of Allosaurus listening to a podcast in a second. But we have one last poll I forgot about. Kristina and I are very happy about this poll. Kristina, we talked a lot about this. Other than being really excited to get Ologies Mirth in 2021, we need to know for which of the very probable 2021 dinosaur discoveries are you most excited? Is it A, a theropod with a double cloaca, aka Duodictyrix, B, a hadrosaur with an absolute dump truck ass, aka Bertonicus, or C, two sauropods that died while boning in a sex lake, aka Aquafuckerops. While people are voting, can you explain to the newbies here what a sex lake is?
Oh, of course I can. Yes, so gigantic sauropods, think of your long neck boys. There was a real paleontologist who had a real idea that they must have had to have reproduced in water because otherwise they would have been too large to not crush each other's bones while they were mating. So they must have reproduced at the sex lake. This probably isn't real. There's no proof for this. But, we can look forward to 2021 when the Aquafuckerops is finally unearthed.
Kristina, I hate to break this to you, but it looks like Bertonicus is slightly beating out Aquafuckerops.
Wow. I can't get mad at Bertonicus.
I didn't see that coming. Here are the results. Close election.
Oh man, I love these. These are like my children. So I'm happy to see any one of them in this poll.
All right, Kristina, let's do 2 or 3 questions from the chat for Alie, and then we're gonna go to the Allosaurus drawings. Per usual, we're always like 5-10 minutes late. Sorry, but it's Friday night.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I threw some personal news. I threw a code at you. It is, by the way, the code is Ologies. So if you ever need it, that never expires. If anyone wants 15% off, yeah, Ologies.
Alie, no one is upset at you at all.
No. Also,
right, Kristina,
I had just a couple of things because I have some people wondering what's going on here. I expect to go until about 10:15. We're not going over. We're right on time. We will do Paleo Art Gallery after some questions. I have a few saved up from the chat. You can continue to send me questions that you want to send to me or Dustin or Alie. And then we'll go through our Paleo Art Gallery. The way that'll work is if you drew something, you'll go like this. And we'll spotlight you one at a time. I didn't draw. We'll spotlight you one at a time so we can see your drawing on the screen and praise it. That's what to expect with the next couple of minutes. Sweet. The first question I got today was, did Allosaurus have lips?
Did lips?
Did Allosaurus have lips?
Jury's still out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't actually know enough about the Allosaurus lip or the theropod lip research. I know that's a contentious issue right now. That's something I actually have not looked a lot into. Good question.
But also any soft tissue, whether it's lips or neck meat or just their skin itself, is really hard to preserve over the millions of years between when it died and now. So anything soft on its body is pretty speculative. You showed some baby dino teeth showing the growth rate. How do we know that growth rate? And does it change every day? Is it pretty consistent? What's that about?
I thought these were questions for Alie, but sure, I'll take
are they? Oh, I thought these were about Allosaur. I was ready to weigh in and then I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, it's for whoever knows. It's not.
No, Allosaurus did have lips. They were slightly overdrawn though.
There you go.
As was the trend 73 million years ago.
I don't know how they know that in the growth lines in the embryonic teeth that a single growth line is a single day. I don't know how they've determined that exactly. Like, I know that there are growth lines in bone that are laid down yearly, and then you can count those and figure out how old the dinosaur was. But as far as the embryonic teeth lines, I don't know how they have figured out that a line equals a day. I'm not sure. That's a great question.
Alie, I had someone ask if you, tell me if I'm saying this word wrong. At the Field Museum, did you go into the Dermisted room?
Dermisted Beetle.
I didn't. Dermisted. I wish.
There's
Dermisted room.
Smells. Dermisted.
Who asked?
I don't remember the name. It was like way back in the chat. It's been popping. But
who did raise your hand? I'm looking at you. Who raised your hand? Who asked about dermestids?
Do you want to tell them what a dermisted beetle is?
Please, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, so they're flesh eating. They eat old dead flesh. They're great. They're like your roommate that eats your leftovers you don't want. And they are really good for cleaning like specimens because they'll get into the nooks and the crannies. And so I have not been, but dermestids are great for cleaning skeletons, but they are absolutely awful if they get into other collections because they also eat the little tiny bits of flesh around a hair follicle, so they can really fuck up your pelts and stuff. And so dermisted beetles are great, but yeah, so they're the other thing is I have a very personal relationship with dermestids. I love that because I once took home a skull in my luggage that was found in a field in Montana. My family's Montana. Anyway, it was like loosely wrapped in paper towel. And then I put it in my closet for a while, meaning to like clean it. Anyway, dermestids found it, got to it in my Hollywood apartment in the closet. And like, I kept finding all these disgusting like shells of dermisted beetles and looking them up and being like, oh, Jesus. And then I found out that they were just eating the jerky flesh on a deer skull I had. And so whenever I think of dermisted beetles, I'm always like, arr. And I have a friend who had a small taxidermy collection and she thought she had bed bugs and she sent me a picture and I was instantly like, you've got dermestids, dude. You've got a pelt collection. So yeah, they're great and disgusting and very hungry.
I didn't realize that's what those beetles were called. I have been to that room at AMNH, the American Museum of Natural History. Yeah, it smells nasty. It's decomposing flesh, and the beetles that eat it and poop it out. It's acids, it turns out. Now I know.
When I worked at the New York Hall of Science, I had access to like ordering. I was in charge of ordering all the supplies for the education department, which was a huge mistake because I just went through the catalog and ordered cool shit that I wanted, like Dermisted Beetles, because I had found a dead snake that was like, it'd be really cool to have the snake bones, but I'm not gonna like try to bleach it. It's gonna be gross. I'll just get Dermisted Beetles to eat all the flesh. And then I forgot to bring them home. And now I've had a dead snake in my freezer for 10 years.
Who doesn't have something dead in their freezer? Am I right? I have so many dead bugs. I have a dead raccoon skull right now. I got some shit in there, you guys.
All right, Kristina, let's do one more question specifically for Alie, and then I can't wait to see these Allosauruses listening to podcasts.
So, I have saved up in the chat. I think people got really stoked on this double yolk situation which is with fantastic cosmic energy. Could two chickens develop in one egg, like the same way two human twins can gestate at the same time?
That's a really good question, because I don't know if that yolk means, because the yolk is the food, and I don't know if there's an embryo for each of those, or if one would just outpace the other. I have no idea. My guess is no, but you can, if you go to like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods and you get fertilized eggs and you really want to, you can absolutely raise a chicken from them. It's a true story. So if you go to, you go to a place that sells fertilized eggs, fucking sit on that shit for a while, put it on a heating pad, do what you gotta do. You got a quarantine buddy. That's all you gotta do.
All have a house dino.
House dinos, yeah. I know. I mean, it's really just like growing your own carrots, you know? I mean, they are refrigerated, but I have watched so many hours of blogs of people who have purchased them and then, warmed them up.
I love how as soon as we ask a question, someone in the chat is on the research to figure out the answer.
I know.
Dweeb in the chat has figured it out. I also want to call out Bridget. She made a good point that we talk about this a lot in Dino 101. You have to use modern corollaries like birds and some reptiles to try to glean clues about how animals lived, grew, took care of their young millions of years ago. So as far as like the the embryonic growth lines in the teeth, we're looking at modern corollaries, different species of birds. We count those. We assume that dinosaurs were relatively similar in that same way. I love it. All right. It is 10:12. We're late per usual, whatever. Kristina, I think
don't care.
Are you ready for this gallery?
Can't wait. It's always so impressive. So we'll know to spotlight you if you put your drawing up like this and you look excited to show people. Like we won't spotlight you if you're like, so that was
Alie, we're going to go around this room, Alie, and please feel free to chime in. Let us know how you feel these drawings are. We're going to start with Dino 101 All-Star and also Post-it Note Gallery Maker Extraordinaire. Agus. Oh, wait, I don't want to highlight. Shit, we're just going to keep adding people to this? Is that how this is going to work?
I'm looking at so many: Richard, Claudia, Davis, like Janita, Kat, Tony, Kato, Megan, another Megan, Brittany, like, dang, y'all. Keisha, Kat, Ryan. I know this isn't how you do it. I don't care. It's Friday night. Claire, Dweeb, Solomon. By the way, Dr. Solomon David, garologist. I don't know. Do you guys know that that Dr. David's in the house? Are you aware?
Oh, I'm aware. Did you know that he's going to be on Dino 101 in a couple months?
Stop. Aaron, oh my God. Elena, I'm like looking at all of these. Jada, who told me, Jada told me about dick necks, right? It's Jada. Ugh, I love your TikToks. Brittany, Kevin, Maria. Oh my gosh, wait, I can't tell if Sissy has one or not, but I'm looking. Jojo, Heather with headphones.
Alie, you've just taken this and ran.
I cannot.
Could you just look
so
around?
if you hear a name with a person holding up a drawing.
I just want people to know I'm looking at them and that they're awesome. Eric's. Oh my gosh, Amanda. Ryan, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Kat, Amy. Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna keep on adding spotlights and bringing them to the fore.
Yeah, that's all I meant. I think everybody deserves lavish praise for their art. I just want to make
Haley, Michael, Sophie, oh my God. Oh wait, I missed Laris.
We should mention, you guys, please, because we're not gonna be able to see all these. There's a ton of you guys. Please upload these Twitter, Instagram, tag myself, Kristina, Alie, Atlas Obscura. Kristina, can you put the handles in the chat box? Please upload these. These are great. I want to share these. Kristen.
Erica, Vanessa.
Oh, I like the city Allosaurus. I like the city Allosaurus. That's good. That's good. I'm here for that. Here for that.
Erica, podcast Allosaurus. These are amazing.
Michael,
I really am
fueled by Mountain Dew always. He's stuck in
I love it. Jonathan Lang, I'm calling you out because you're in the best suit and on your phone right now. And I just find that to be like so chef's kiss
just
right now.
Real quick, thank you for calling out Jonathan Lang. Johnny's my best friend for forever. And I love that he's dressed tonight like he's like in the 1997 NBA draft. What is that suit? Where do you even get that? I don't know.
This is amazing. Yeah, I'd want everyone to know that in looking at all these, Neva, Brianna, Anna, I just want you to know that I'm all just, essentially, I want you all to know that I'm just gently creeping you. Because if I'm looking at someone who has a drawing next to you, chances are I also am looking at you. So Heather Hughes is just drawing. She's like, I'm out. I'm Jonathaning. I saw you. Oh, wait, I see you drawing too.
Did you guys make these out of clay during our time together? Oh, hell yes. I don't know that we've had clay dinos before, Kristina. Have we? That's
no,
amazing.
I don't think we've ever had a 3D dino.
That's great. That is great. First time for everything.
See Dr. Sarah Mack is here with her cat. Aris, you have amazing hair. That has nothing to do with a dino drawing, but I'm calling it out anyway. I'm sorry that I've probably come in and disrupted your entire flow, but I don't.
All right, you go off. Go off, Alie. How about this? How about Maggie's here? It's a cross-legged Allosaurus sitting on the couch, listening to Ologies, obviously.
Oh, I saw that and I was like, that's where I've been since March. Essentially, Maggie, you've found me. That's like, honestly, my life since March.
You got some good colors from Carol here. I like that.
Megan's got the Dick Neck book out. Y'all, I mean, Friday night, we're doing it.
He is a very comfortable Allosaurus in a chair. I'm into that.
Really, I don't know how many of you are actually, can we do a poll and see how many people are actually Ologies listeners versus just Dino 101 people being like, who the fuck is this lady?
I think the opposite is happening. I think people are here like, because I love Alie Ward, who the fuck are Dustin?
I would just feel so mad if this is like your normal Dino 101 crew and they're like, she's late. What is she drinking? Why is she making announcements about her personal life?
No, my announcement about my personal life was we got Alie Ward to do Dino 101. So we're all excited.
Anytime.
How is everyone so good at doodling and drawing? Like I'm just like, I don't even know how. Let's go to one of NYC's finest teachers, Brittany Beck. Oh, I like walking a dog. Is this just any dog?
Oh, is it Grammy? If it's Grammy, I'm gonna die, but is it your
like
dog?
Grammy?
Hold on, where is
She has more than one here.
Oh, matching yellow sweat. Look at it.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
I love that. We have to go Janita here, who's always coming correct with the top hat dinosaur every single time. I like that's your calling card. Oh, hey, Grammy. Hey.
It's Grammy. Oh, the top hat, classic.
While we are going through these last of these Allosaurus drawings, I want to remind everyone that we do an after party, which is totally, well, you can come if you want. You don't have to go. It is absolutely not at all related to Atlas Obscura. They told us we should definitely say that. So after our time here, I'm going to drop, if you want to come, I can't drop in the link in the chat, but if you want to come to the after party where we're just going to hang out in a Zoom room like this and drink for another half an hour or an hour, send me, slide into the DMs on Instagram or on Twitter, and I will send you the link. We'll do that in about 10 minutes after we get through these last drawings. This is going to be a good one too. Let's see. Allosaurus.
I mean,
looks just like you.
Let me see. Wait, who's got it?
Just like you.
Aww. Yeah, I know. That was the only reason I picked it is because sometimes people call me Allosaurus.
Oh, I like the fossil version here. That's good too.
Okay.
That's good. I like that.
Wait, Quinter, did you actually make that out of paper? What is that? Is that a real Allosaurus? It's a 4 chapsticks high. It's a baby.
There you go. There you go.
It's a juvenile. Oh my gosh. Clayton just wrote Cui Bono, which is a deep, deep dive, and a hats off to you. It was a short film made starring Grammy about a conspiracy theory. So I just want to say, Clayton, thank you for recognizing that. I feel very seen.
Alie, can we look at the tremendous art that's happening spotlighted right now? I think on the left.
How are you finding the spotlight?
I would draw. I would do the cat version for sure.
Where is the spotlight? I feel like such a dunce.
Go to speaker view and it'll
Alie, is this your first time on Zoom?
So wait, this is not Skype, right? This is a different program? Because I don't know how it works.
Slightly. Ryan, that's beautiful. Per usual, you're crushing the game every single time. Ryan, guess what? Someone's name rhymes with you, and it is Ryan. So we have Ryan and Brian, both good iterations of Al. Ooh, I like this. We got it. Mysterious.
Yeah, Ryan's is cool. Oh wait, Solomon David, you have is that a tattoo or is that oh, it's on a gar skull?
Did you wait? Hold that up again. What just
Damn,
happened?
I thought that was your arm, dude.
You
You
drew
drew
it
that
on
on
a gar skull. That is above and beyond, sir.
Sir, set that aside and bring it back when you were on Dino 101. Obviously. Do we have any more? Oh wait, we have one. I believe this is in some sort of a bus, maybe. What's happening here? I wish I could read what's happening.
Oh, the Dino is listening to Ologies, a great podcast. We're not letting you leave yet. Driving around in the car.
Hold that up closer so we can see the colors here. We got some green and red. I like the green and red. Always a fan of coloration. I'm going to add Claire's now.
Oh, now I understand how Spotlight works.
Oh my God.
I had it on gallery.
I like the simplicity of the black and white.
Listen all the way to the end. Oh, a secret.
Alie, can you tell us what everyone gets to hear if they listen all the way to the end of your Ologies episodes?
They get to hear a secret. A lot of people don't know that. But oh, look at that one.
This one's great.
That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, look at the little guys. They get to hear a secret at the end. I love that that this dino is feeding bread to little dinos.
That's what they eat. Jada, you guys, if you don't follow Sophistication on TikTok and Twitter, you're using those platforms wrong. Jada is also going to be our special guest in a few weeks when we talk about sharks.
Jada, I need to hire you to give me a lesson on how TikTok works because I understand it less than Zoom. I understand Zoom, by the way, but I don't understand TikTok.
I like the lying down one. Into that.
Yeah, in repose.
So loungy.
Oh, the green. Oh, this is beautiful. That's great. I love that.
Citysaurus.
Urban.
Oh my gosh, I love these. Oh my God. Oh, I love this. If anyone feels compelled to fold these up and put them in an envelope, I'll give you my P.O. box.
There you go.
You got a commuter dino.
I think we've got just about to the end. How do we go back to the view that we had before? I don't know how Zoom works either.
This is why we don't cut the part at the beginning where I explain how Zoom works.
Well,
what do you need to know? I got you.
It is 10:23. Once again, you guys, first of all, Alie, do you have any final parting words before we bid everyone adieu?
Wow. I mean, cut bangs, text your crush. I don't have bangs right now, but that's just because I didn't wash my hair, but text your crush, ask absurd questions. We're all going to die. Definitely. If anyone has an idea that they want to do and they are holding off because they don't think it's perfect, my advice to you is to please do it. Do the idea. Please start working on it. You will only get better by doing it. And do not hide your light under a bushel. From Dad Ward, Ologies was very close to being a pipe dream, and making this podcast has changed my life. It's introduced me to the best people I have ever met. So if you have a thing that you want to do, please do it. Find it in you to do it. Your life will only get better. And also, if you have any kind of mental health issue through this pandemic, you are very normal, and please do not get down on yourself if you ever feel down, and reach out to friends and be good to yourself because you're amazing.
Alie, I know all of us are very glad that you started Ologies, and I want to echo what you just said. Like, whatever you want to be doing, do it. And I don't just mean like just start the podcast. Like, whatever you want to ultimately be doing, do some iteration of it, even if it's on a small level. Like, I want to be talking about dinosaurs on camera, getting people excited about the greatest group of animals who ever exist. And so I'm like, fuck it, how can I start doing that? So I just started doing this. Whatever you want to be doing, start doing some iteration of it, and it'll grow and it'll get better, and you'll get better, and we'll all be better for it.
Yeah, figure out what you love the most and try to do that. It's and to ask for help and collaborate. I was going to say, and collaboration is a good thing, and then instead I said collaborate weird. But yeah, I really do think one piece of advice is I always feel like it's okay to be a little bit weirder than you think it is. Authenticity is a gift to the world. So yeah, that is my parting advice. You probably hoped that I had a dinosaur fact, but instead I gave you a very emotional miniature TED talk. I'm not sorry for that at all.
We're not sorry either. Alie, I'm going to say a quote that you said once that sticks in my head, sticks in me like a vaccine all the time. What makes you unique is what makes you irreplaceable. Lean into your weirdness. All of you fucking people that are here, I love you guys because you're nerds. I want to hang out and talk about dinosaurs and other weird ologies on a Friday night. Lean into that. This has been the greatest. Dino 101 has been the greatest thing that's come out of the quarantine and the pandemic as far as in my life. And I'm glad that I get to share that with you guys every Friday. We've been wanting to have you, Alie, forever, so I'm so glad you are here. Kristina, I know you feel the same way. Is there anything else you want to add before we say bye to everyone?
Oh, man, I just, I've talked about I met Dustin in an equivalent vestibule situation, so I'm loving this, like, domino effect of, like, just do the thing. I love it. It's 2021. Cut bangs, texture crushed. We saw how this worked out. Alie Ward, our esteemed guest. I'm so stoked that you were here with us, Alie, and that all 172 of you were here with us tonight.
Pretty great.
That 2-week hiatus, I was like, who am I without Dino 101? This is the best. So it's so good to have you all here. Hell yeah. 2021 sucks a little bit so far, but this is the best part.
Absolutely. And it's only going to get better. I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion here, you guys. We're looking very much forward to the rest of 2021. These are the rest of the Dino 101s that are happening in January. Next week, we're going to have my friend Marco Staffy, the director of the Montreal Museum of Science, who's going to help us break down and ID any and all of your dinosaur toys, dinosaur figures, dinosaur books. He knows more about dinosaur toys, and I know a lot about IDing dinosaurs, so that's going to be fun. Then we're going to have the deputy leader of the New York City Council, Jimmy Van Bramer, talk us through a dinosaur inauguration, which, if you want to know what that means, that basically means if we were assigning a cabinet of dinosaurs, which dinosaurs with which characteristics would be the best fit for all of the cabinet positions. And then we'll end the month with the Bone Wars with an actual paleontologist from Dinosaur National Monument. I also want to mention before we go, if you do not know what Skype a Scientist is, Sarah, drop the link in the chat. Sarah McAnulty is here. Skype a Scientist is a nonprofit that links classrooms all over the world with scientists for very fun, inquisitive discussions with those kiddos. She also does a fundraising trivia every single week, which is a shit ton of fun. Alie, I know both of us have been like a special guest on the trivia. It's great. The Dick Neck Squad always rolls through. Alie, you're an honorary Dick Neck now. That's how it works.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
Also, if anyone can tell me what the hell that is, let me know. I think it's a brontosaurus.
Some type of giraffe titan, maybe. I don't know. Hard to tell.
But yeah, who knew that Zoom could actually offer so much solace during this time?
So much. All right. Once again, you guys, if you want to come to the after party, slide into my DMs. Like, just get a running start and dive head first straight into the DMs. I'll give you the link on Instagram or on Twitter. But for now, I don't care if you're asking questions, digging up dinosaurs, or diving deep into the Ologies podcast archives to find the best episodes from how many?
Like 175.
171. Never stop digging. I love all of you guys. We'll see you next week.